it is shocking how many real estate agents are undereducated on simple, basic terms. Like, the whole 10-year conversation, right? It's just like, I'm looking at the 10-year yesterday. It's going up. I say, okay, the interest rate's going to pop a little bit today. And it did. It was like automatic, right? And just these basic things that far too many agents aren't having conversations about. And one of the biggest conversations lacking right now is what you just touched on. The people who are, I'm going to sell my house in the spring, and they're not getting all the information of why right now they're actually going to make more money in January and in February than they likely will in April and in May. We're at near peak prices in most markets, and they're going to be able to capitalize on those comps. Now, I was talking to our friend Jill Biggs and this week, and she's like, Byron, we got to remember, people don't even know what comps mean when we're talking about the public. So when we're messaging to the public, when we're messaging to sellers, it's got to be really basic, right? You will make more money listing your home in January than you will listing your home in May. Then you have a conversation, right? You get into a Zoom, you get into a phone conversation, you get into the dining room table with this homeowner, and you lay it all out there for them. Here are all the projections that we don't know what's going to happen to the interest rate, but there's a whole bunch of people saying it's going to continue to go up because we have to stop the inflating housing prices. Here's Goldman Sachs to everybody else that says home prices are going down, because the reason they're saying that is they intuitively believe the Fed is going to do something else dramatic. They believe that, which is why they're projecting that these home prices go down, because it doesn't make sense when you have 1 million houses on the market, when you need 2.5 million. Supply and demand doesn't make sense that home prices will go down. But there's a strong belief. Larry Summers says the great tragedy would be if central banks don't finish the job on inflation, right? He just said that this week on CNBC, former U.S. Treasury Secretary. People want to see them go across the finish line, go up over 5.5% on the federal interest rate. They want to see this mortgage interest rate go back up. And there's people at the Fed that want to see people lose jobs. All of this impacts what happens later on in the year.
Yep.
If I'm going to sell my house in the spring, I'm doing it in the winter and capitalizing on the highest price possible in 2023. So Tom, let's actually build an ad right now. What would be a simple way to put this out? And I was doing this with Jill, so I may not have the perfect answer. I don't have the perfect answer. I was doing it with Jill. Like, what's the perfect ad we can put out there into the market that speaks to sellers to get them to understand we're not looking for a listing, but right now, with where inventory is, with where home purchase applications are up, and with where, buyer confidence is up because of the interest rate, it's a perfect storm all of a sudden again. If you're a home seller, which it wasn't in quarter four,
was not.
What's the ad look like? What's the simple communication look like for a seller to have a deeper conversation?
So I'd love the audience to drop some comments what they think the good ad copy would be as we go through this. That would be a great way to kind of outsource this. So let's think about pain points, right? It's prepping the home, timing, getting the price you want. Those are the three biggest pain points, and timing can be broken down in a lot of ways. We talked about this last week in that NAR Zillow study that comes out every year. So I find the bigger challenge for most sellers is how to prep their home. And the people that are thinking about moving, they've been in there too long. So that's got to be part of this here. And additionally, you want to look at market conditions. So it's more of, have you been waiting for the perfect time to cash out high? Like, I think that it's got to be something along those lines, and just get them thinking. And then, or have you been waiting for the ideal time to max the proceeds of your home? It's got to be broken down into stuff they can understand, to your point. I don't even like the word equity, because I don't think some people know what that means in some cases.
Right.
So do you want to cash out high on your home? Like that could be the ad copy. Obviously, know a lot of people that are smarter than us that could help us come up with this. But are you worried about prepping your home for the market? We've got a solution. Are you worried about timing the sale of your home? We can plan it out on your ideal time frame. Something along those lines. Those need to be the headlines. And I'd love to hit up someone like Jimmy Mackin or some of these other people we know in marketing. They could probably help us with it. It's got to hit the pain points.
Yeah, the solution for prepping your home for sale has just been uncovered.
Yep, that's really good.
Right? And so, because here is the solution. In reality, you're at a perfect storm. You can dictate terms. I mean, if you're in one of these situations that we just outlined where you're, again, in 15, 20, 25 offers, well, you can pick the terms and get the time you need.
Yep.
There's your solution.
Yep.
Get 3 months on the closing instead of 2 to be able to help facilitate that move. I mean, we're just anecdotally, Tom, and I'd love to hear comments on it. We know Phoenix, Vegas, these types of markets are increasing in inventory, and just the last week, which is a good thing. And I agree with, like, we love the Housing Wire market tracker, which comes out every single week.
Yes.
I agree that this last week, having 1,339 homes, a slight increase in inventory, is a good thing. We need a whole lot more than that, though. And right now, this week, we're at 471,000. Rose from 471,349 to 472,688. And we're not in a drastic situation like last year, 292,000 to 283,000. But overall, I mean, being at 1 million, and this is in the market tracker, NAR total inventory data is currently at 1.14 million. We're supposed to be at 2 or 2.5 million. We need to double up again just to get inventory at a normalized level. We have no shot of getting anywhere close to 4 million like we saw in 2005. Not that would be healthy, but we need to double up in inventory